Let's think of your dissertation manual as your Bible for this semester for your subject of dissertation. Okay? लाइफ में ऐसा होता है ना कि कई चीज़ें हम खुद के लिए करते हैं और कई चीज़ें हमको आउट ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी या नेसेसिटी करनी होती हैं. तो यू विल फाइंड दैट in these 3 years you have come to love a lot of things, including stationery, fonts, है ना, the way your work looks, the way you design it. But dissertation is a very formal document. You cannot do it you cannot do for it what your heart tells you to, right? There are some things where you have to keep aside your sentimentality and you have to be professional about it. Right? So this is that document, the one which you have in front of you and the one which you are going to make at the end of the semester. So अभी तक हमने सिर्फ इस मैनुअल के बारे में बात की, and you should know that this is very important and you have to keep it in your bag whenever you come for the dissertation का lecture and everything. Now tell me, how many of you have finalized your dissertation topic? Okay, good. So was it by choice? Was it by copying someone else's work? और thinking कि यार मैं ऊपर जाती हूँ लाइब्रेरी में या जाता हूँ लाइब्रेरी में और वहाँ पे देखता हूँ कि लिस्ट जो है उसके अंदर मुझे जो सबसे ज़्यादा अपील करेगा मैं वो टॉपिक लूँगा या लूँगी. ऐसा किसने किया? There is no shame in that, don't worry. किस को ऐसा लगा कि I'll go to the library, refer to works which are already there and then I'll decide what my topic is? Anybody? No one. So I am to assume that everyone's work is going to be original. Okay. I'm glad. Although I know that that cannot be true, but I'm still glad if you say so. ठीक है. So your dissertation was told to you that आप लोगों को dissertation इस बार occur करनी है. Then you came to the selection of topics. आपने 3 या 5 topics select किए. Then you submitted to your teachers and then they helped you finalize कि आपके लिए सबसे ज़्यादा suitable topic कौन सा है. Now that decision may take a long time, but it is very important. तो अभी तक जिन लोगों का नहीं हुआ है, I'd say take your time, but make sure that whatever you do, make it thorough. है ना, ये नहीं करना कि just because of time नहीं बचा है तो जो पहले दिख रहा है मैं वो कर लूँ या जो मैम कह रही हैं वो मैं वो कर लूँ. You have to fight a little. You cannot really just मैम ने कहा तो चलो ऐसा कर लेते हैं. Your thought, because it is going to be your work for the next 4 or 5 months. तो जिस चीज़ में आपको इंटरेस्ट हो आप वो चूज़ कीजिए. आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल आई एम गोइंग टू से अबाउट द टॉपिक बिकॉज आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू बी हियर फॉर द नेक्स्ट 4 months, so I cannot give you advice on how to choose your topic. Just that it should be a topic which interests you or intrigues you. इंटरेस्ट और इंट्रीग में क्या डिफरेंस होता है, कोई बता सकता है? And it's okay if you don't know the meaning and just want to try. That's fine. इंटरेस्ट और इंट्रीग में किसी को मतलब पता है, अंतर पता है? When something interests you, you want to do it. When something intrigues you, you might hesitate at first, but you might be interested in it as well. But it will scare you a little because it is something new. So find a topic which will be a combination of both. Okay? Don't go for the easiest thing because you're in the 4th year now. Now is the time to challenge yourself and apply all that you have learnt in 3 years. And put a little bit of intrigue in it. Let it be there. बिल्कुल ही easy हो जाएगा तो you'll just do it and give it and then you'll be out of here, right? But if there is a little bit of intrigue, you will find that it will be the most enjoyable research-based 3 months of your life. Okay? So I'll end this part here about the topic selection and everything. अब आप लोगों ने submission किस चीज़ का किया है अभी तक? Have you submitted your synopsis? Not yet? Okay, so let's talk about that. But उससे पहले I'd like to ask you a few things. Okay? Let's say that all of us are going to a party. When you go to a party, what do? If you have an invite, you will see if there is any dress codes that they have put in, if it's a casual event or whatever. Then you'll see if you are required to take a gift or something for the host. So it can be two kinds of events. It can either be a very formal event or an informal event. अब हम इंडिया में रहते हैं तो there are 4 kinds of events. So we're not going to talk about that. But let's say that there are 2 kinds of events, formal and informal. If it's a formal event, you are going to think about a lot of things. But if it's an informal event, you're not going to think so much. You're just going to, grab what you like to wear and what will make you comfortable, and you'll just go. But if it's a black tie event, the boys will think I have to buy a tux or I have to rent a tux. The girls will think that I need an evening gown, right? And that will be an automatic response to the invite. ऐसा तो होगा नहीं that someone will, unless and until it is the first time for you to be going, it's very hard for you to make a mistake there. And if it's a formal event, you're bound to ask someone about it, right? ये analogy है. Now I'm going to relate this to your dissertation. Okay? Dissertation में आप लोगों को एक formal document बनाना है जिसके बारे में आप सब कुछ नहीं जानते. Am I right? क्या आप dissertation के बारे में सब कुछ जानते हैं? Right. So this is your invitation. Okay? So your dissertation manual, think of it as the invitation to the formal black tie event, and refer to this all the time whenever you are making any decisions about your dissertation. Right? ये हुई वो चीज़ जो आपके हाथ में है. Then let's say that since you all are doing your dissertation for the first time, you'll need some help. जैसे ब्लैक टाई इवेंट में फर्स्ट टाइम जा रहे थे तो वी आस्क्ड समवन हु हैज़ बीन टू अ ब्लैक टाई इवेंट व्हाट शुड आई एक्सपेक्ट. सो नाउ ईदर यू कैन गो टू योर सीनियर्स, यू कैन आस्क देम कि आप लोगों ने डेजिटेशन किया हुआ है, बट माइंड यू प्लीज़ चूज द गुड वंस हु राइट वेल एंड who know what they are doing. The clueless ones are going to make you even more clueless, right? यार ब्लैक टाई इवेंट था, मुझे उन्होंने बोला था कि टक्स पहनना, मुझे लगा ब्लैक टाई ज़रूरी है, उसके अंदर टक्स का कलर क्या मैटर करता है, तो मैं ग्रे कलर का सूट पहन के गया था, तू भी कुछ भी पहन जा, right? That is the advice that you are going to get, because no one is going to throw someone out of a party because they are not wearing the correct clothes, है ना? So if your dissertation is not correctly done, no one is going to flunk you, but it won't be the proper thing, है ना? मतलब वही बात हो गई कि नेसेसिटी क्या है और रूल क्या है. तो यू गो बाय द रूल फॉर अ डेजिटेशन, डोंट गो बाय द नेसेसिटी और व्हाट योर हार्ट सेज. कैलिब्री बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बट टाइम्स न्यू रोमन इज़ द बेटर थिंग. आई नो बहुत बुरा एग्जाम्पल था दोनों फॉन्ट्स का, बट दैट इज़ द थिंग विच एवरीबडी नोज, सो आई एम गोइंग टू जस्ट यूज दैट. ओके, सो अभी तक हम लोगों ने इस इनविटेशन कार्ड के बारे में देखा कि दिस इज़ आवर इनविटेशन बाय विच वी हैव टू गो. नाउ व्हेन यू कम टू योर सिनॉप्सिस, सो सिनॉप्सिस जब आपसे मांगी जाएगी तो इट विल बी एक्सपेक्टेड ऑफ यू दैट यू नो सर्टेन थिंग्स अबाउट योर टॉपिक. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप सिनॉप्सिस लिख दें एंड यू हैव ज़ीरो आइडिया अबाउट वॉट यू आर डूइंग. So first of all, you have to have a strong sense of what your topic is going to be. You have to have an introduction. You have to have an aim. You have to have your objectives. You have to have scopes. You have to know your limitations. And finally, you have to work on your methodology. I'm going to talk a little about all of these. Can everyone see what's written on the board clearly? Any issues with that? Good. Okay, so synopsis should have an introduction to your topic. इंट्रोडक्शन का मतलब ये नहीं कि आपने जो भी पढ़ा है आज तक उस सब का आप वॉमिट कर दें पेज के ऊपर. देयर इज़ अ वर्ड लिमिट टू दैट. ओके, सी आई एम टेलिंग यू अबाउट इंट्रोडक्शन राइट नाउ बिकॉज इट्स द स्टार्टिंग ऑफ योर वर्क. इट इज़ बाउंड टू चेंज विद एज यू प्रोग्रेस फर्दर इन द स्टडी. वाई? आई टेल यू. ओके, सो फर्स्ट इज द इंट्रोडक्शन, then comes the aim. Aim is what you aim to achieve by doing this dissertation. It cannot be building using bricks, right? It has to be a little more complicated than that. Now, this is my personal opinion. I'm not really forcing anyone to look into complicated things. If you're comfortable with a little simple topic, but it has to be in depth. You cannot have a 5-page dissertation, right? Can you? You will know when you read your invitation card. Okay. So there are aims which you have to achieve. Objectives are the things which you are breaking down to achieve your said aim. Fine. Then there is scope and limitation that I'll come on to next because it is a little confusing. There is methodology. So methodology is the thing which you use to achieve your objectives and then finally your aim, right? When you, everybody in this class knows how much I love talking about food in class, right? So I'm going to take you step by step into making a cup of tea. So the methodology there is quite clear. It can be different for different people as per their preference, as will be yours when you are working on your dissertation. Not everyone's approach is going to be the same, right? When I make a cup of tea, I mix the water and milk first. I bring it to a boil, I put in the things that I want to put in, bring them to a boil, then I put in the tea leaves, then I put in the sugar in the end. Some people caramelize the sugar first, then they put in the milk, and everybody's preference is different. Everybody's outcome is different, right? Each and every dissertation in this room is going to be different. It is not going to be the same. If it is same, then there is something wrong. If it is as same as a previous dissertation which is there in the library, then it is extremely wrong. Because आप साथ में मिलके collaboration में काम करें वो तो अलग ही बात है, पर अगर आप बिना पूछे किसी का collaboration ले रहे हैं तो वो ज़्यादा गलत है. उस बारे में भी हम बात करेंगे आज. So methodology is how you achieve your objectives and aims. Now what about scope and limitations? Scope is what you set for yourself and limitations are the things which you have no control over. So scope, let's say, I'll give you an example. I have to make dinner for 5 people. So I will go for the things which I know how to do best. If I have to make dinner for 5 people other than my family, I will think of things that I make best. I'm going to think of the things that taste best when I make them, right? Then I have to think about the quantity. First the quality, then the quantity. So quantity में मुझे 5 लोगों के हिसाब से बनाना है तो it will be easier for me to do because I've been making it for a while. I won't go out of my comfort zone here, right? So aim में आप अपने comfort zone से बाहर जा रहे हैं उतना काफ़ी है. Objectives से आप aim को achieve करेंगे. Scope के अंदर आपको ये चीज़ को ध्यान में रखना है कि मैं कितना कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ, है ना? If I talk about courtyards, can you all just randomly tell me what comes to your mind when you think of courtyards? Okay, vernacular. What else? Okay. Next. Don't tell me कि एक शब्द से आप लोगों को सिर्फ 3 शब्द मिले हैं, वो भी कोर्टयार्ड जैसे शब्द से. You all know this. Just try a little. Good. अक्षय नहीं है क्लास में? Anybody? ठीक है. What else do you think when you think of courtyards? Okay, let's just say space. और okay, circulation लिख दो. Anybody else? Huh? Gathering. Okay, gathering. ठीक है. I think that's enough. Vernacular के ऊपर कितने dissertation topics हो सकते हैं? You can't even count, है ना? Once you start researching about it, you can't even count. Light, artificial, natural, right? लाइट के टाइप्स के ऊपर ही कितनी डेजिटेशन बन सकती है? एम आई रॉन्ग? डज दिस मेक सेंस? सेमी ओपन, open and semi-open spaces का comparison. Now that can be in a public space, in a private space, so many things. And I can count hundreds of things by just counting all of these. हर एक का 100 हो सकता है और कोर्टयार्ड का एक अलग 100 हो सकता है ना? तो सोचो, you have a lot of things which you can do in your single topic that you have thought of. If I say study of courtyards in hot arid climates in India, है ना, there can be a lot of things that need to be studied, that need to be explored by you, but can you do everything? मुझे ये सबसे जवाब चाहिए. I cannot really rely on just her and his answer. Are they speaking for everybody? I cannot go on if you don't tell me that you can do everything about a courtyard. Are you sure? This is not a confusing answer. You just have to tell me, can you study everything there is to study about courtyards in the next 3 months? A little louder. Thank you. So, if you cannot do that, you need to set your scope. Right? You have to specify what things are you going to study in these 3 months, which will at the end materialize your dissertation. Right? Then comes limitation. Now scope and limitations are very confusing. Why? Because in scope also you are limiting yourself to the kind of work that you have to do. But scope is in your control and limitations are the thing which cannot be controlled by you. Like maybe you have chosen a topic which needs you to travel abroad. But that cannot be a limitation that you write in your dissertation report. But I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so there are going to be scopes which you set for yourself. There are going to be limitations which will be things which you cannot control, right? So you have to do all of these things when you write the synopsis. Okay. Now for this, after you have understood what all these things are, you can go and refer to others' works, but please try and not get inspired by the works as it is. You can get inspired by a word to bring out your own topic, but try not to get so inspired कि यार इन्होंने जो किया है बस मैं वही कर लेती हूँ या कर लेता हूँ, because that would be so unoriginal. Everything is so unoriginal these days. Okay, everyone, please have a look at your dissertation manual, page number 3. So in the first thing that has been written is course content. So this course content is not your course content, it's the thing which just entails what the dissertation is going to be about. The second is topic selection and its acceptance. So you are in that stage right now, right? Topic selection, finalization, content of detailed synopsis and selection, the selected topic, and topic acceptance and procedure of selection. That is, that is the process that you are taking, and it's not all for you to do, it's for your teachers now too. So let's just skip that. The third is methodology, experiments and techniques. Okay, there comes the abstract, data collection and rules for writing and the case studies and everything. So this you have to study in detail before you start your work. What entails your dissertation after the selection of your topic and your synopsis submission. So there are going to be 3 components to your whole work. This is, again, this is what I am telling you. You can find your own way, but generally speaking, all of these things are going to be consistent. Once your topic has been finalized, you have given your synopsis and you start work on your dissertation. Scope और limitation को ध्यान में रखते हुए कि what scope have I selected for my dissertation, मैं कितना काम करने वाला हूँ या करने वाली हूँ, उसके basis पे आप करेंगे chapterization. Have you heard of what chapterization is? No. So when an author is maybe writing a book, right? सो ऐसा नहीं होता कि वो लिखता जाता है और फिर बाद में देखता है कि यार ये वाली चीज़ तो पहले होनी चाहिए थी और वो वाली चीज़ तो बाद में होनी चाहिए थी। उसके मन में एक स्टोरी लाइन होती है ना। आप लोगों ने बहुत सारी मूवी अडेप्टेशंस देखे हैं फिल्मों के। हैरी पॉटर फॉर इंस्टेंस, आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ यू मस्ट हैव सीन हैरी पॉटर, मे बी हैव read it as well. So even though the books have a lot of content, not everything is done in the movie, right? तो आप लोगों को अपनी डेजिटेशन के बारे में भी वैसे ही सोचना है, दैट योर डेजिटेशन इज द मूवी एंड द डेटा कलेक्शन विल बी द बुक, बट यू आर नॉट राइटिंग एनीथिंग देयर, you are just reading and you are trying to understand. Then you are reproducing that thing that you have understood in the form of your dissertation from primary or secondary data. We'll talk about that more, don't worry. Chapterization क्या होता है? Once you have your data collected, you have in mind कि मुझे कितना काम करना है और क्या मेरी limitations हैं, आप अपनी chapterization को final करते हो, which means that आप अपने chapters को finalize करते हो. Maybe I'll talk about my own dissertation. I did my dissertation on sensory architecture. Okay, so because it was a topic that I was reading about for the first time during my dissertation, I was interested in it, but I thoroughly researched it when I was doing my dissertation. So I wanted to start with what the 5 senses are. That made sense to me at the time, that is the normal thing to do, that you introduce what you have read first. So the 5 senses. Then because I wanted to relate it to architecture, designing with the 5 senses. That is an example of not being aware of your surroundings. The drapes were open because it was going to be not projected on the screen but on the board. But thank you for giving such a great example for the class. Okay, the 5 senses was my first topic. That's what I explained and explored the first thing. Then I started reading about architects who used the senses in their designs. So case studies was my, not the building case studies of architects who are working in this way. Then I came across, while I was studying, I came across an architect who was blind. He had vision, then he met with an accident and after 10 days he lost his sight. But he never stopped working as an architect. When I got that thing, everything turned around. मैंने सोचा था कि मैं पहले 5 सेंसेस के बारे में बताऊंगी, उसके बाद में मैं केस स्टडीज डाल दूंगी कि कौन कौन से आर्किटेक्ट्स उस तरह से काम करते हैं, देन मैं सेंसरी डेप्रिवेशन की बात कर दूंगी एंड देन आई विल बी डन. बट व्हेन आई फाउंड अबाउट दैट आर्किटेक्ट, आई फाउंड अबाउट हाउ दे वर्क in their office using braille and the figurines and everything, my whole idea turned. So उस वजह से जो मेरा synopsis था वो भी पूरा change हो गया. At first I was thinking I will be telling about the 5 senses and their importance in architecture. Then it turned that how sensory depravity is going to affect an architect's ability. That was the second change that happened. And then came the third change where I included experiments of my own. So karte I had a lot of changes with study and experimentation going on simultaneously. So chapterization can be a broad thing, but as you work in your dissertation, it will get finalized and it will get more detailed. Is this clear to everybody? Right? So setting aside my topic now, let's take a generic topics again, courtyards. So if I am studying the effect of a courtyard in a hot arid climate in India, let's say I am basing my my work in Jaipur, which is a hot arid area anyway. So Jaipur ke baare mein maybe I'll talk about courtyard as a technique first. Then I will detail it into how it works in a hot arid climate. Then I will detail out what hot arid climate is. Then I will come on to Jaipur as the part of my case study. Then after that I'm going to do the cause and effect and everything that goes on into a building, and after that maybe I'll do the case study of a few buildings located in Jaipur and how courtyard is affecting those buildings in a different way. Let's just say that my chapterization is this. So I have 6 chapters. अब 6 chapters हैं, तो what is more interesting or what is more appropriate for a dissertation is that you divide the chapters into sub chapters as well. You can't really do that कि आपने एक chapter लिखा और 50 पेज उसके ऊपर लिख दिए. You have to have some subdivision which will be in the contents as well. So if I am talking about the courtyard, I am going to subdivide the topic into a few more topics. Okay? Now, right now I am just telling you how it works. Like I said, this is the formal thing to do. You cannot keep it like the methodology I told you. आप methodology की तरह इसको नहीं कर सकते कि मेरा मन है कि मुझे एक ही chapter दिखाना है contents के अंदर. You can't do that. Why? Because contents show you a lot of the stuff that is going to be inside. Maybe when your viva will be going on, the person who is taking your viva opens your table of contents and they see that they want to ask you questions about chapter number 3.2.1, the subdivision. So it will be easier for them to navigate. It will be easier for you to remember कि उस chapter के अंदर क्या होने वाला है, उस सब डिविजन के अंदर क्या होने वाला है. सो एज अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट दैट दिस विल बी मोर ऑर्गेनाइज्ड फॉर यू टू डू, यू हैव टू डू इट दिस वे. नो एक्सेप्शंस एंड डोंट ट्राई टू पुट योर ब्रेन वेयर इट डजंट नीड टू बी पुट राइट नाउ. हमारी आदत होती है आर्किटेक्चर में, जस्ट जनरली स्पीकिंग अबाउट आर्किटेक्चर स्टूडेंट्स एंड आर्किटेक्ट्स, वी वर्क अ लॉट. वी थिंक कि इफ आई वर्क टू अ 200%, I will come to the level of 100% once my work is done. That is not really the case all the time. There are some things where you don't need to put your brain into working, and this is that. You don't think about the format, you think of the things where your thinking is needed, the content, the authenticity of the content, the quality of the content. Don't think about these trivial things. Okay. So, चैप्टराइजेशन सबको समझ में आया है ना. नाउ चैप्टराइजेशन के बाद लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द 3 कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ योर डिसर्टेशन. वन इज गोइंग टू बी लैंग्वेज, द अदर इज गोइंग टू बी कंटेंट, एंड द थर्ड इज गोइंग टू बी structure. Do not get afraid when I write structure. It is not the structure that you have been studying for the past 3 years. The structure means the chapterization that we talked about right now. How your dissertation is going to be structured. Okay? अब किसी ने, I mean, I have no idea whether there is some conversation like this in a movie, but I am having a little thought about it. कि अगर मैं आप लोगों को एक कहानी सुना रही हूँ राम और श्याम के बारे में, है ना, तो मैं राम की कहानी शुरू करती हूँ और बीच में स्विच करके श्याम के बारे में बताना शुरू कर देती हूँ, बिना ये बताए कि आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट श्याम नाउ. फिर जब आप लोगों को कन्फ्यूजन होने लगता है कि आपने जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक राम के बताए थे ये तो वो नहीं है, तो देन आई टेल यू अरे ये तो मैं श्याम की बात कर रही हूँ, एंड देन आई स्विच बैक अगेन टू राम, एंड देन आई स्विच बैक अगेन टू श्याम, एंड देन देयर इज सम अदर थर्ड पर्सन हु इज़ इन द स्टोरी एज वेल. तो ये कितना कन्फ्यूजिंग होगा आपके लिए, है ना. आई थिंक पीछे के लोगों को बिल्कुल कन्फ्यूजन नहीं होगा. इफ़ आई टेल अ स्टोरी लाइक दिस, आई अप्रिशिएट योर कॉन्फिडेंस इन मी, बट टेल मी वेदर इट विल बी कन्फ्यूजिंग फॉर यू और नॉट इफ आई टेल अ स्टोरी लाइक दिस. थैंक यू. सो if I tell a story like this, it will be confusing for you, but when it comes to a dissertation, it will be far more confusing. Right? If I'm talking about courtyards, I need to have a structure to the whole content. I can't really have the content be first about Jaipur, then about courtyards, in the middle something else is there, right? So whenever you are doing the chapterization, after you have decided what you're going to put in the chapters, what you need to do is you need to put it in a chronological order. है ना? It should make sense. Don't think कि just because my chai tastes better than your chai, it can always be the right thing to do. Right? बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स होते हैं हर चीज़ करने में. अगर आप कहीं रहने के लिए जाते हैं तो उसके अंदर वेदर पैटर्न भी करता है. Something which is comfortable for me may not always be comfortable for you. But when you're talking about a formal document, you just have to assume that everything that you are doing should be in the proper format. Like I said, don't think too much about it. है ना? Whatever has been given in this, your invitation card, you just do that and be done with it. Okay? Now, talking about structure, language and content. Structure will have several parts. Okay? The structure first will be in your content table. In each of your chapters and each of your paragraphs. Sorry. Structure will be in the content. It will be in the chapters and the subtopics. Actually, I should put a plus. And the third one will be the structure in the paragraph. The structure is going to be same or similar, but it will change as these three things are changing. This has to have a broad structure. This has to have a more detailed structure, and this will have a more detailed structure, but it will be related to just the paragraph. Okay? अब ये वाली बात complete करने से पहले I have to include content and language as well. So I am going to explain those first. Language कौन सी use करने वाले हैं आप? Everybody sure about that? है ना? तो your language is going to be English. So English के अंदर क्या important होता है? Grammatical errors नहीं होने चाहिए. You all know that. Now, जब हमने शुरुआत में उस पार्टी की बात की थी जो हमारी फॉर्मल ब्लैक टाई इवेंट था, उसमें इनविटेशन था एंड देन कंसल्टेशन फ्रॉम एन एक्सपीरियंस पर्सन था. सो इफ़ यू आर डाउटफुल अबाउट एनीथिंग ग्रामेटिकली, go to the person who you think has a a good command on the language. Do not shy away. आप अगर खुद जाके पूछेंगे, it won't be that bad. आपका नॉलेज बढ़ेगा, उसका थोड़ा सा ईगो बूस्ट हो जाएगा. It will be a more collaborative effort. ईगो बूस्ट करने के लिए नहीं कर रहे हैं हम ये, बट अगर उसका ईगो बूस्ट होने से हमारा थोड़ा फ़ायदा हो जाता है तो क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है ना? Boost some egos. Go and ask the person who knows what they are doing when it comes to language. They cannot judge the content. Make sure you know that. If someone is saying that Mary had a little lamb, है ना? She doesn't know who is Mary, what the lamb entails, what the context is. So you listen to them, but don't listen to them so much कि तुम अपना content change कर दो. ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स के लिए जा रहे हो तो ग्रामेटिकल एरर पे ही कॉन्सेंट्रेट करो, एंड करते करते तुम्हें खुद आइडिया होने लगेगा कि सही चीज़ जो हम लिख रहे हैं वो कौन सी है ना? इंग्लिश इज़ अ लैंग्वेज विच नीड्स जस्ट प्रैक्टिस. ओके, लैंग्वेज के बारे में मैं और ज़्यादा नहीं बोलूँगी बिकॉज एवरीबडी नोज दैट दे हैव टू डू द वर्क इन इंग्लिश. देर आर ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स, देर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स एंड यू हैव टू रेक्टिफाई दैम. नाउ मैं काम इस तरह से तुम लोगों को बता रही हूँ कि काम तुम्हें खुद करना है. नो वन इज़ गोइंग टू टेल यू कि ये जो सेंटेंस है ना, ये सेंटेंस गलत है. दे आर जस्ट गोइंग टू रीड, फ्राउन अपॉन इट एंड मूव ऑन. इट इज़ अप टू यू टू मेक योर डिसर्टेशन एज बेस्ट एज इट कैन बी. ओके, नाउ वी कम ऑन द कंटेंट. कंटेंट के बारे में हमें इसके बाद में और बात करनी होगी, तो दैट इज़ डन. दिस इज़ हाफ वे डन एंड आई एम जस्ट स्टार्टिंग दिस आउट. कंटेंट, आप लोग डेटा कलेक्शन जो करेंगे, दैट विल बी योर होली ग्रेल फॉर वॉट योर कंटेंट इज़ गोइंग टू बी इन योर डिसर्टेशन. एम आई राइट? है ना? तो जब आप अपना स्कोप और लिमिटेशन सेट कर रहे हैं, तब आपको डेटा कलेक्शन के बारे में भी सोचना है. इट इज़ ऑलवेज गुड टू गेट सम मोर डेटा दैन लेस. आई एम राइट अबाउट, I think I am thinking about that fact, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed. When you get 10 books to read, you will think, oh shit, I have to read 10 books. When you see the content and then decide whether a chapter or two are relevant to your topic or not, it will be 10 books and 5 chapters maybe. है ना? So make sure when you are looking for the data, you find authentic sources. First of all, ऑथेंटिक सोर्स क्या होता है? इफ यू टाइप सुरुचि शर्मा ऑन गूगल, कौन है सुरुचि शर्मा? If you write Suruchi Sharma on Google, you will find a lot of profiles, right? Not everybody knows what my Instagram handle is. The people who know, they will go to my profile, or maybe they'll search for a little, maybe they'll look at a picture कि हाँ ये picture मैम की है, तो this is the authentic source. Just like that, if you are searching for a topic online and you find a generic article which has no header, no footer, no name of an author, no references from where they got that information is probably not authentic or has been copied without consent. Consent के बारे में सबको पता है? If Pallavi is making an artwork, right? That is an original artwork. Let's just assume that she is making an original artwork. And now if Vaibhav thinks that this artwork is looking, please don't think मैं तुम्हारी टांग खींच रही हूँ, but मैं खींच रही हूँ. तो पल्लवी का जो आर्टवर्क है वो वैभव को बहुत अच्छा लगा. So he thought that अगर मैंने इसको कॉपी कर लिया तो क्या फ़र्क पड़ेगा? And he never asked Pallavi. Vice versa. Maybe Vaibhav made something and Pallavi thought that it's a nice thing. And नहीं पूछूंगी तो भी क्या चलेगा, मेरा friend है, he'll understand that I liked it, that's why I did it. But when you are talking about something this professional, your dissertation, you have to know that all the content that you're putting in there has been studied and researched by someone else very thoroughly, right? It takes a lot of effort to collect primary data. You are not going to be doing that most probably, unless you are going for a survey kind of a dissertation where you are trying to find or trying to prove something. Unless you are doing that, your data is bound to be secondary, okay? Now, datas are of two types in research, primary and secondary. Primary is when you are finding out any facts, or you are talking to people and getting first hand data, that is primary data. That can be done through surveys, focus groups. It's a very big thing. I don't want you to go into that, okay? Then there is secondary data which you are using, which has been done by someone else. The primary data which has been collected by someone else, when you use that, that becomes secondary data. Okay, I am not going to go in the depth of this because I think tomorrow's lecture will be about this as well. हाँ, तो उसमें part होता है उसका. So you'll get a detailed account of that tomorrow, I guess. But primary and secondary data, if you are yourself searching something on the internet, that does not make it primary data, right? This is the first time that this keyword has been used. That is probably not true, because if you searched and something came up on the Google sheet, that means that that thing is existing already. है ना? Do not overestimate your ideas. Do not underestimate others' works. Don't think कि ये आइडिया इतना यूनिक है कि किसी और ने किया ही नहीं होगा, है ना? अगर उस सर्च रिजल्ट पे कुछ भी आया, बिंग पे, गूगल पे, you know, याहू पे, everything is on the internet and everything is unoriginal, getting unoriginal. Okay? Is this clear about primary and secondary data? Chant one more. Once more. Thank you. Okay, now authentic sources. When you are doing a topic which is technical or not technical, maybe more emotional, if you are talking about how a human being feels in this space. I am just steering away from the courtyard a little now, okay? So you have to understand what the other topics that are related to your topic are going to be. If you are talking about feelings, maybe the topic is related to psychology, right? Maybe it is related to neuroscience as well. Now that will depend on what you limit yourself to, what your limitations are and your scope is, कि आप किस area के अंदर delve करते हो. But when you find out things from authentic sources like Google Scholar, रिसर्चगेट और इस तरह की कोई भी वेबसाइट, तो ऑथेंटिक सोर्सेज के अंदर आपको बहुत सारा कंटेंट मिलेगा। बट अगर आपने न्यूरोलॉजी की किसी मैगज़ीन, साइंटिफिक मैगज़ीन से या किसी आर्टिकल से लिया है, कुछ भी एक लाइन भी अगर आपने लिया है, एंड इफ़ यू आर यूजिंग दैट इन योर डॉक्यूमेंट, योर डिसर्टेशन, यू हैव टू साइट इट। डू यू नो व्हाट साइटिंग इज़? Does anybody know what citing is? If you know, you can say it out loud.
You basically tell that you have got all this information from this source and this is how it is relevant.
No, thank you. Okay. So, in simple words, giving credit, right? Now, does anyone know what giving credit is or what credit is in academic writing? I am not talking about banking system. If you are going there.
You are trying to avoid plagiarism in any shape or form. That if I've written this, मैंने यहाँ से उठाया, I'm giving you credit that you did this and that inspired me. This is what I'm taking from your work.
Good. That is the basic idea that you don't want to plagiarize. Plagiarism एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो हमने अभी डिस्कस की थी पल्लवी और वैभव वाले एग्जाम्पल से, कि पल्लवी ने कुछ काम किया है, वैभव ने कुछ काम किया और हमने बिना पूछे उस काम को रिक्रिएट किया या रिप्रोड्यूस किया या कॉपी किया, है ना, वो प्लेजरिज्म होता है, जस्ट इन द मोस्ट सिंपल टर्म्स। ओके, अब जब हम साइट करते हैं किसी को, लाइक हम जब किसी का वर्क साइट करते हैं, उसके कुछ तरीके होते हैं। नाउ इफ़ यू सर्च ऑनलाइन, you will find that there are a lot of credit giving systems, citing systems. Okay, तो reference या citing systems जो होते हैं, यूजुअली आप लोगों को या तो बताया जाता है कि आपको कौन सा रेफरेंस सिस्टम यूज़ करना है। देर इज़ APA एंड सम अदर सिस्टम्स, आई डोंट वांट टू मेंशन दोज सो दैट यू डोंट कंफ्यूज योरसेल्फ। आपकी ये जो इनविटेशन कार्ड है, इसके अंदर आपको किस तरह से साइट करना है वो बताया गया है। ओके, सो जो भी साइटिंग सिस्टम्स हैं हमारे एकेडमिक राइटिंग के वर्ल्ड के अंदर, वो सब तो हैं ही। अभी के लिए आपको वो रेफ़र करना है जो आपकी डिसर्टेशन मैनुअल में है। यू कैन स्टडी अबाउट दोज एट योर ओन टाइम, बट राइट नाउ जस्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन योर वर्क दैट यू हैव टू डू एंड डोंट वॉन्डर ऑफ लुकिंग इनटू APA क्या है और ये वाले उससे क्या होता है। इट्स ओके। सो साइट करने का जो इसके अंदर तरीका बताया हुआ है, आई कैन गो ओवर इट वंस। Go to page number 19, 4.9, bibliography. So this is the way the instructions have been given. So it shall be in font Times New Roman in the size 10. So your whole document can be in size 12, is going to be most probably in size 12, but the bibliography is going to be in size 10 and in the font Times New Roman, our favorite. Then the natural order of surname following the given name may be used in footnotes, bibliographical entries as illustrated below. I am reading the fourth line. Here now the bibliography is done in a way जिसके अंदर हम author का last name पहले लिखते हैं, comma first name का initial डालते हैं, after followed that by the year of publication or whatever the format is. So this is the format that you have to acquire. Usually this most probably is in the APA format. तो जब आप ResearchGate पे या किसी भी इसी तरह की उस पर रिसर्च करते हैं, तो वहाँ पे आपको साइट का एक कहीं तो बटन मिलेगा, है ना। अगर आप गूगल स्कॉलर पे कुछ भी सर्च करते हैं, तो जो आपकी लिस्ट है और ये आपका सर्च रिज़ल्ट है, उसमें नीचे यहाँ पे कुछ कुछ छोटे छोटे आइकॉन्स बने होते हैं। उनमें जो सेकंड वाला होता है, आई थिंक दैट इज़ द साइट। प्लीज़ बेयर माय ब्यूटीफुल स्किल्स, बट जहाँ पे आपको ऐसे दो कॉलम्स मिलते हैं, नॉट कॉलम्स, what would you call them? Inverted commas. So the inverted commas that you will find, these if you click, you will find a list of different styles of citations. So आपके लिए जो सबसे ज़्यादा appropriate है, आप वो वाला copy करें and then you put it at the end of your document. So there are two types of referencing. This is the first kind when you are providing the reference list at the end of the document, the end of your dissertation, and the other is to give it as a footnote. So footnote देने का तरीका क्या होता है कि let's say मैंने जो मेरा एक पैराग्राफ लिखा है मैंने जिसके अंदर I have cited 3 people. I have taken their words and I have put it in my document. So I am going to cite them or give them credit right there and then, so that whenever a person is referencing to my work or referencing to trying to find the reference of who has done this, they can find it easily in the bibliography. But let's say there are 5 people who are being cited on a single page, 5 different people. So in the paragraph, what I'm going to do is, this is my paragraph. These beautiful words, as you can see, straight lines. There is a citation here, so I'll put a 1 here. In the next paragraph, on the same page, there is a citation here, so I'll put 2 here. The superscript, okay, the one which goes above, superscript mein. And in the third paragraph on the same page, these beautiful lines, you see a third reference here. Now you will create a footing on the page and then you will add 1, 2 and 3 and write the citation there. But आप लोगों की जो dissertation है उसके अंदर आप पूरा साइट इस तरह से दे नहीं सकते, तो आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट इट्स बेटर कि आप ये वाले जो साइटिंग कर रहे हैं उसको आप एंड में ही करें. फुट नोट्स में अगर आप दे रहे हैं तो यू गिव इट एज अ वेरी स्मॉल रेफरेंस, जस्ट देयर लास्ट नेम एंड द ईयर ऑफ पब्लिकेशन में भी. समझ में आया? गुड. क्या पीछे भी समझ में आया लोगों को? ओके. So the way you have to do it has been given in your invitation card. What you need to do now is think about the structure. अभी मैंने content table वाला structure तो आपको बताया था. I'll talk about chapters and paragraphs and then we'll wrap up. Chapters, subtopics and paragraphs. इनके कंटेंट को लेकर आपको सिर्फ एक बात ध्यान रखनी है कि the flow of information should make some sense. है ना? What does this sentence mean? अभी हमने थोड़ी देर पहले भी इस बारे में बात की थी. Can anyone tell me what do I mean by the structure or the flow of information should make sense? जब हम कोई भी पैराग्राफ लिख रहे हैं so उसके अंदर होना चाहिए सबसे पहले टॉपिक सेंटेंस. It can be the subtopic that I am starting out, है ना? हो सकता है आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट सेंसरी आर्किटेक्चर, द इम्पॉर्टेंस ऑफ द 5 सेंसेस एंड देन आई हैव कम ऑन टू आइज. सो आई हैव टू स्टार्ट विद द टॉपिक सेंटेंस फॉर आइज. अब मैंने आइज के बारे में बता दिया, देन आई हैव टू गो ऑन टू विजन एंड देन कोन ऑफ विजन एंड देन उसके बाद में पेरिफेरल विजन. ये लॉजिकल सेंस लग रहा है ये वाले फ्लो के अंदर. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट आइज एज द सेंसेस, then I am talking about vision, then I am talking about cone of vision, then I am talking about peripheral vision, and then I am talking about intuition. क्योंकि मैंने वो अपने स्कोप के अंदर डाला है कि I am talking about the 6th sense in all the senses as well. So ये वाली सारी चीज़ें हो गई जो हम ऑलरेडी जानते हैं. एंड देन इंट्यूशन इज समथिंग विच इज़ अ लिटिल न्यू फॉर द टॉपिक और द पर्सन हु इज़ रीडिंग इट. सो फ्लो ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इज़ लॉजिकल. इफ़ यू आर रीडिंग इट, इट विल मेक सेंस टू यू कि हम पहले आँखों के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, फिर देखने के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, देन टेक्निकल टॉपिक पे आ गए हैं कोन ऑफ विजन के जिसमें एंगल्स हैं और सारी चीज़ें हैं. देन हम पेरिफेरल विजन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं विच कैन नॉट रियली बी क्वान्टिफाइड. My peripheral vision might be extremely different from your peripheral vision. So this goes into the realm of a little intangible information. And then completely intangible information, intuition. So I'm starting with the information everybody knows. Then introducing different things as they progress with increasing the difficulty in the topic. So easy, a little difficult, a little more difficult, and maybe needs some more thought kind of difficult, right? So this is the logic behind each of your paragraphs, logic behind each of your subtopic, logic behind each of your main topic, and finally your content. But remember that your content is going to be the broadest part of your work and everything else is going to be detailed after that. तो टॉपिक सेंटेंस के बाद में आएगा आपकी बॉडी ऑफ द पैराग्राफ विच विल बी बैकिंग द टॉपिक सेंटेंस. यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट आइज एज अ सेंसरी ऑर्गन. सो बाकी जितनी चीज़ें हैं वो सब उस चीज़ को बैकअप करेंगी, है ना, कि येस विजन, कोना विजन, पेरिफेरल विजन, इंट्यूशन, ये सारी की सारी चीज़ें हमारी आइज से ही रिलेटेड हैं. आइज एज अ सेंसरी ऑर्गन. एंड देन maybe all of this will take up 4 or 5 paragraphs and then end में होगा conclusion. So you will have to, ऐसा नहीं कह रही हूँ कि हर एक सब टॉपिक को आपको conclude करना है, but if it needs a conclusion then you have to conclude it. That is going to be by your intuition. If anyone has any doubts, you all have my number. You're most welcome to text me if you feel like it. And if I have a collective questions, you know, a list of questions which you need to ask me or anything, that would be much appreciated. If I get 20 texts from 20 students at different times of the day, maybe I won't be able to respond to that. Okay, so I'll wind up now. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoy.